Hello everybody and welcome to another Genshin live stream. How's everyone doing on a wonderful Saturday? Hello extended gamer. I will have a wonderful day after becoming better to watch my live stream. Okay, thank you for reminding me about the billets. Thanks to my local Gamba addicts. Oops. Start prediction. Will I get any billets? 3 bosses this time, unlike last week. Right, I do have resin for bosses. Yes. But yeah, if you hadn't reminded me immediately, I probably would have just like condensed. Condensed 2, which would be 120, I would be left with 30 resin and like, oops. That would have been a shame. You did save the Gamba just now. And the only reason why I have so much resin is because in the morning I actually was not able to log into Genshin. The moment I would open the game, it would crash. I tried like 2 or 3 times, and my game just instantly crashed every time. I finally opened my game on mobile, where it worked, and I sent my expeditions, but I didn't bother with like resin condensing. I think it might have been due to the fact that yesterday I actually quit while in Miliastra. I did login like after the Starry stream, as I was, you know, doing my final resin spending in Genshin for the day. I went to Miliastra just to grab the login to Miliastra 3 times reward from the VP, and I just quit the game there. I was in the Miliastra lobby and I quit the game there. And then apparently my PC was having trouble starting my game from that position. Now you spawn back in Tevat anyways, so it might have not been that. I'm not sure if quitting while in Miliastra affects anything like this, but that's what I did. That was not usual. That was different from usual. I was telling you to connection retry when you were playing today. Interesting. Maybe there was some Genshin issue, but it did work on mobile. I crashed twice on PC, but it was just like straight up a crash, right? On login. So, you know, I would click on the door would open, and then, boop, the game would quit. But yeah, on mobile it worked really fine. And I was able to condense my resin just fine. Or like... And I didn't even condense any resin, I sent my expeditions. You want the easy 20k? If you only bet 10 points, you don't deserve the 20k. Okay, we've got a big new event today. Or yesterday, I guess, we have a big new event. So let's just like get to the dailies. Oh my god, how do I TP? Let's just do the dailies quickly, because we have a lot of stuff to do. By the way, the title of the stream is All Schemes to Know, because that is Nahida's skill. And we do have a Sumeru event today. So you might have missed out on some extra dialogue if you haven't been skimming every character as they appear in the overworld during the event story. But I will be doing this, hopefully. Hopefully I won't like forget somehow. But yeah, yesterday my Star Rail crashed, today my Genshin crashed. And I've been having quite a lot of crashes recently. Why do I have to talk to him twice to start the daily? But yeah, Zenless was the one game that would like crash frequently, but then the other two were pretty stable, but now... It's been kinda rough. Hello, Wilson. I wonder if this is just down to like the games. There is a bunch of new features in both Genshin and Star Rail. In Star Rail I crashed in Currency Wars, which is new. And in Genshin might be related to Miliastra, at least the crashes I had today. Oh. Might go to bed early today, that's really fine. Gotta get some good night's sleep. I have to go to bed early today as well, because tomorrow I'll be watching the League of Legends Worlds Finals. Right, it's tomorrow. It wasn't today. I hope it definitely wasn't today, right? And yeah, it's gonna be at 8 AM for me. So I plan to wake up like exactly at 8 AM. Which will probably mean I will only become like conscious like 10 minutes later. And then I will just watch the first game on my phone from my bed. And then during the break between the first and second games, I will, you know, do the morning chores. Get dressed, make my bed, get some breakfast or whatever. Breakfast might come later. I might not have enough time for breakfast. I was wondering, what are the controls here underwater? Okay, I finally got it. How do I get an ability again? Left click, you left click. Good thing I play Genshin on primarily one platform all the time. Because for people who play on multiple platforms, if you do like, let's say you mostly did diving on like a controller, but then you play on mobile afterwards, it's like, how do you even control this? But the morning is to watch YouTube right away. I usually don't do that, but yeah, for a live stream like this, gotta do what you gotta do. Oh, there's another guy. Oh, good. The insta squads without even as much as a greeting. Bannable offense, to be honest. A bannable offense. Like, first you say hi and then you redeem squads. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. As punishment, you gotta bet on believe in the Gamba, because we don't have enough believers. It's 10 points to 20k. You keep pulling characters, but you don't ever level them. I'm struggling to come up with any advice other than just level them. Like, what are you spending your resin on? You're just grinding artifacts all the time instead of leveling up your new characters? I found the character review. Gotta redeem this thing. You farm bosses? But bosses give you ascension mats for characters. So like that means you are leveling them, no? Or just like grinding one boss and you have 20,000 mats for that one boss. And you don't even spend them. Yeah, this is not an accident, this is intentional. This doesn't just, it's not like, whoops, I pulled the character but now I don't want to level them or something, no. Should you level up Mizuki? Probably not. I like playing her. I enjoy playing Mizuki sometimes. I use her for like ley lines. Or next patch we're gonna have like a Venti Abyss. So there will be an Abyss room with like 100 enemies. It might be like 60. There will be a room with a lot of enemies, so Mizuki will be pretty nice there, but it's like Mizuki will never give you a clear that you wouldn't have gotten otherwise. With another character, because she's not that strong. But when the content hits just right, like the right kind of AoE content, Mizuki can do well, and she's fun to play. You are not sure what to do, to be honest. A level up. You even pulled C1 here. But for Ayaka, at least like she's level 70. But no, what? Why are the talent levels 1? The Imaginary Room Theater is 6 out of 6. This is still like pretty low Imaginary Room Theater. Max Star Abyss though. Pretty poor onslaught. You can get a higher rating in co-op, right? Because this is like hard. You can do menacing. You can do menacing in co-op and just get all the Primordium rewards for free. But like, what did you even mean by I farm bosses? And like, is it actually just like trolling? Because sometimes people genuinely look for advice, but then somebody comes up with something like this, and I'm not even sure what to say, man. It's gonna be trolling, right? But what if it isn't? I don't want to dismiss people who have like genuinely big troubles. You have 380 resources for it. Oh, so just keep farming the same bosses. Yeah, it would be better to just do domains. Instead of spending your resin by going to a boss and beating them up, you can go to a domain and beat the domain up. Maybe not this one, but this one. It's even faster this way. You can spend your resin faster at the domain than at the boss. You can also spend 40, or you can condense your resin to spend 60 at once. If you're just wasting all your resin, then yeah, like you won't be able to level up your characters. There is no way he's real. Yeah, he does have fully cleared Abyss. I mean, yeah, this is probably the set you want for Ayaka if you want artifacts. You probably want to play Marius the Hunter, because you're gonna play Furina with her. Or do you have a level 1 Furina? No, your Furina is probably leveled up and it's not in the showcase. There are only so many characters you can pull and not level. And we have C1 Kazuha, C2 Tinari, C1 Ayaka. Oh, if we go under Akasha, they do have a build Nubilet and a build Furina. And Mavuika. Yeah, there are some characters on this account. Skerk and Escoffier. Is this Furina worth it? Not really. Nah. It's not like a terrible constellation. But spending C2 on like a modern DPS or even modern support would be more beneficial. Like for any cryo team, you could pull C2 Skerk, you could pull C2 Escoffier, you could pull C2 Citlali. Stuff like that. You could pull C2 Durin next patch. You got the new phone 2 days ago after a month of waiting. Want to try out the ProRes raw open gate recording? What is the ProRes raw open gate recording? What does it mean? Dufred is a cute little cozy sidetrack for a land of depression like Fontaine. The nice thing is that there is actually a continuation to their story in Not Cry. Like a little nod that like they probably went to Not Cry later. Okay, daily commission rewards. Let's grab them. You think she could clear Dire? I have seen... I mean, not by herself, not as a DPS. You couldn't Furina main DPS Dire. But I have seen a clear with like a team that was like full C0 R0. A Skerk team. Skerk, Escoffier, Furina, and like whatever, Shenhe or something. Everybody was C0 R0 except for like C6 R1 Furina. And they cleared Dire. I think it was Dire Horse? Or no, maybe, no, it was I think it was Dire Sigurd. But you, instead of pulling 6 cons for Furina, you could have pulled 2 cons for Skerk and also clear Sigurd. So like, Yeah. Is it really... Is it really worth it? It's not like they smashed the fight, they just barely won. And like, a C0 Skerk probably doesn't clear here. But yeah, not... If you really love Furina, and you're already at C4, C6 is not terrible, but it's not that big of a deal either. The bigger deal is actually the healing. Like, if you want to play teams with Furina, if you want to play Furina in more teams, but you have trouble finding good healers for the teams, then C6 Furina for the healing from it. Like, if you don't switch to Numa, if you stay in Uxia, you hit the enemy like a couple times, you heal your team. That can be pretty nice, opens up team building a little bit. But is that really worth it to Constellations? Not really. It's Apple log format for videos to color grade. Oh, I have a similar issue on my phone. Congrats on the Dire. Thank you very much, David. Yeah, this was a very cool rotation. I did the Shiguin full damage cheese on the third one. The second kill is the only like normal one. I mean, this is also like a normal team, but a full C0 team with, I mean, I have like R2 Citlali Sig. I did technically get like exactly 120 seconds, so I guess the R2 mattered on her Sig, but I also like misplayed crazy at the end. So I could have definitely gotten it with R1. So this could have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cost, but it was 6 cost because I have R2 Citlali Sig. Oh, and I guess Bennett is on Absolution. What is Nahida doing? Nahida is here. Number 1 for burning, so that I can break the shield quickly. Number 2, the burning allows me to like get pyro reactions with Citlali easier for the set bonus. So, because I actually need to hit an enemy affected by pyro with Citlali to get the set bonus. And then also her EM buff is pretty good. But yeah, it's mostly for the hit frequency. Most people do something like Shilonen, Bennett, and then Ayaka or Skerk, right? To apply cryo to the boss. Because when you hit this boss a lot with cryo, he will become cryo, and then you can just like get infinite melts with Mavuika. That's how this works. But the issue with Ayaka or Skerk is that they don't do anything other than giving you the cryo shield. With this, the burning allows me to like quickly break the shield, but then still the cryo damage from Citlali is enough to apply cryo to the boss and not pyro, because it depends on like what is the highest damage you dealt. And you know what's funny? The damage was so close, it must have been like 49% pyro, 51% cryo, because I was not getting the cryo infusion on the boss until I switched my Bennett goblet to like not pyro damage. I switched it to like Anemo damage or something, and then it was good. So like my Bennett's pyro damage was like the issue that wasn't allowing me to get the like proper infusion. And that's because I was playing Absolution instead of just Aquila Favonia, because Absolution actually made my Bennett damage too high. But my Aquila was not leveled, so I had to like nerf his artifacts a bit. Okay, where were we? So on my phone I also have the issue. I also had the issue that when I do like the HDR highest quality recording, I cannot open it on my PC. I wanted to record some videos and then like do some editing on PC, and it just wouldn't work. And I had to download some like video editing software on my phone. So I have an Android phone, so I have the same issue. Like it's not an Apple or Android issue, it's a Windows issue. It's not even some like proprietary, at least in the case of Android, it's not like some proprietary format. It's just Windows doesn't want to give you the like codecs for it, and you have to pay for them, even though, I mean, it might be proprietary, but like my graphics card already has like the hardware needed to decode these files, but Windows just doesn't give me the codecs. Like they actively prevent my PC from decoding the videos. It's not even like they don't provide the solution. No, they prevent me from opening the videos. You don't care for her, just thought she might be good, seeing her do 2 million plunges. Yeah, no. Not really worth it. And yeah, the first team is C0. The final team is also pretty much C0. I guess it's like cons on Jean. Wait, no, it's my record. Battle record TV, yeah. So this is full C0. Here you have C1 R1 in FA, but Flins doesn't even have SIG. Flins is on Sinosig, on Staff of Scarlet Suns. That's what he's playing. And this is a fall damage team. Jean is C6, but the only one that might matter is C1. And also the weapons don't matter either. I did put Jean on like highest damage I could, but the Jean damage doesn't matter, it's the fall damage that matters. I gave her like a Urakumi Sugiri just in case the damage could like give me, you know, just 1% more damage or something. Mówika Citlali Bennett Ayaka. Yeah, that's what a lot of people do. Although Citlali is kind of bricked in this team, to be honest. I mean, you have cons on Citlali, so she gives you the like at C0 Citlali would not be good with the Ayaka, because you cannot ever proc the set bonus, right? So like in this team you would want to play something that's not scroll on Citlali, and then she gets much worse. Because you only proc it at the start of combat essentially. I guess you can proc it at the beginning of the shield uptime. It can last for a little bit, but yeah. With Nahida, you get burning throughout the entire shield phase, so you get the proc at the very end. You're gonna buy yourself a Mac for Christmas. That's how they get you. That's exactly how they get you. Also, you did play Tenacity on Citlali, okay. But yeah, the Ayaka version is so much better. I tried some other teams, and it was not even close, to be honest. I was doing so much more damage with Mavuika. And the shield breaks weren't even that much slower. The only issue is like the exact balance. Right, like, if you have too much pyro damage, like it's very close. Because with Ayaka or Skerk, you just do 90% cryo damage, you don't care much. But here, it's like, there is some Dendro from like... Nahida, so it's probably like 20% Dendro, and then 39% Pyro, 41% Cryo. It's like super close. Also, another thing that bricked the rotation was when I had too much EM on Nahida. I think she's still like... Oh no, I gave her back some EM. But... Oh yeah, and she's on Tenacity. I had to make sure that there is no EM rolls on any of the pieces. Like 0 EM rolls on the entire set. Because any EM on Nahida caused the burning to deal too much damage. And then I was playing Favonius to like burst more frequently and also give more energy to Bennett and Citlali. I think never will be better than Mavuika? No. No, Mavuika is just on another level. Especially with the combos. Wait, did I not claim my daily commission rewards? I had to debuff my Nahida and debuff my Bennett. And it's not like my Citlali build is bad. I have over 1000 EM. Yeah, whenever content gets too hard for Mavuika to clear, people just come up with a new Mavuika combo. She just has infinite vertical scaling. Because there is always a new combo to discover. Nefer is way too simple. I mean, she's not the simplest character. You know, there are the dash cancels, and then you can like optimize your rotations by like doing one E, switching to cast an ability on a different character, switching back to Nefer, doing another E, because you have the time while waiting for the Verdant Dew generation. There is like meaningful skill ceiling in Nefer teams, but it's nowhere close to Mavuika. Yeah, devs definitely didn't think about the Mavuika combos that we have right now. Mavuika was meant to be the best DPS in the game anyways, but then she also has the most dunk combos in the game. And you can deal easily like 50% more damage or even double. Like if you do like very bad combos, if you just spin in circles, if you just hold charge attack on Mavuika, and then like the gap between that and her best combos is like double the damage actually. Including the burst, which is like always the same. If you do like some mid-range combos, like 3 charge attacks finisher in a melt team, or like 2 charge attacks dash in a vape team, then the damage increase is probably gonna be like more like 50%. 3 times is not, yeah. You are not 3 timesing your Mavuika damage unless you are actively doing something terrible to start off with. With execution alone. She also has good cons. The only thing that can be like a limiting factor for Mavuika going forward, but not like this year, more in like a year or two, is that her teams are gonna be more limiting because she needs Night Soul generation in her teams. Like you always must play at least one other Natlan character. But for now, Shilonen, Yansan, and Citlali are all very strong characters. You can even play all 3 of them, and that's a very good Mavuika team. Is that bow new? What do you mean? You mean this? I don't even know what this is. Oh yeah, it's a new event bow next patch. Attack is increased by 56% when the equipping character hits an opponent while the equipping character is off-field. 45% ER. Whatever. Stygian. So this is the current one, and next patch. Oh yeah, man, you know what they did? This boss used to have 7 million HP on Dire. They increased this to almost 11 million. This is like a 50% HP increase. Durin is a sword character. Durin cannot play a bow. They increased this guy's HP by 50% on Dire. And this guy's HP by like 15. So like whatever. 15% more HP on this? Probably fine. I don't know. But 50% more? This was 7 million. Like what is that, man? Fearless is no change. Like nothing changed for Fearless. He was always 5 million. But now, oh my god, this is gonna be. Did they decide? Did they look at like, oh, people are doing 50% more damage with Mavuika with the better combos? Let's increase the boss's HP by 50% to compensate. Is this what happened here? Man, this will be rough. This will be rough. This might be the Nefer shield. Which is unfortunate in a patch after Nefer. Because the guy has Electro, Pyro and Hydro shields, so like a Bloom team is perfect for him. But there is no way any Bloom team has enough DPS to go through this. Other than Nefer. So it's gonna go... Skirk is gonna be good as well, yeah. Yeah, okay, maybe this is Skirkable. Could be Skirkable. Yeah, the final boss is the Plunge boss. He has like crazy HP, but he gives you 600% extra attack. You probably do not play Bennett, like any team where you would play Bennett normally, you don't play Bennett, you don't play Janssen, you don't play Bennett, you don't play attack buffers. Cause you have like infinite attack by default. Physics Plunge Furina won't even be good. Yeah, it will not. Physics Plunge Furina isn't really that good anyways. So this is not as bad as it looks, right? This is not as bad as it looks. We'll have to see. But like there will definitely be like gamming clears here. No way there won't be, right? Maybe the HP is just too high. But gamming is pretty cracked. Gamming, Chevreuse, Fischl. And like whatever in the last slot. Actually no, you need Melt with gamming. You cannot play Chevreuse. Gamming, Citlali. You don't need Bennett. You can fit Xianyun. Yeah, I don't know. Just pull Varesa. Plunge Mavuika. Could work. Although her plunges are pretty weak. The issue with Mavuika's plunges, like if you just look at her multipliers, she can plunge in her bike form. And you can look at the multipliers and be like, ooh, like charge attack final hit is 272, but plunge is 316. Wowee, that's like her highest multiplier. If you can plunge quickly and melt every plunge, that's great. Not quite, because most of her damage comes from like this. Flame Strider, normal and charge attack damage bonus, while in ult. And this 1% per fighting spirit. So it's like 200%, if you have max fighting spirit, it's 200% additive on top of this. So the char attack is like 395, and the final damage is 472. Even a bit higher than this, because it's a bit higher than 1%. And the Flame Strider Plunge stays at 316. It does not get buffed by Burst. Will Mavuika be unplayable here? No. Because she's her after all. But she will not be the best. She might be like a deluxe side grade, honestly. In this versus this boss. Okay, let me quickly go. Actually, wait, the weekly bosses are ready. Okay, let's do this first then. Wait, can Skerk plunge? You play Skerk on the first boss though, probably. She can plunge. But the damage is pretty garbage. Why is plunge damage 126%? What? Man, they did not... Or actually, no, this is like the plunge direct hit damage, and then high plunge damage is 316. Okay, that's better, that's better. Although, a big part of Skerk's damage output is her very fast attacks. So the plunges are not gonna be like amazing. And you cannot like meld them. But you do get a very high attack buff, while Skerk usually does not get attack buffs. So, there is something there. Yeah, Venti's ult now stops on the first enemy it encounters, which is so good. Like, I've been playing Venti since 1.0, on and off. Like, back in the day, I would play him everywhere, like everybody, because Venti was the most broken character in 1.x. And aiming Venti's bursts was always so incredibly annoying, man. Now it's way better, like, it's infinite better, especially against bosses. Versus normal enemies, it doesn't matter much. It might be slightly worse, but not really. You just need to position a bit differently, because what you would do before. Let me bring out the paint. Do I have paint anywhere? Oh, here we go. Here we go. Why is this so small? Here we go. So imagine you have like this is the Abyss arena, right? And you've got some enemies. Spawning like. Oh wait, I selected fill. What do you mean there is no fill? I guess it's fill for the brush. What? Whatever. And we get some enemies like spawning like this, right? So your Venti spawns like here or whatever. Actually, you spawn in the middle, no? Right? You go to the middle of the key and you spawn here. So the way Venti's burst worked is that no matter which way and like when you cast it, it would always go a set distance away. So when you would burst, it would go like either here or like here. Like it would go to the closest enemy and then like a set distance away, right? So depending to which enemy you were closest, it would just like overshoot them by the same amount. So what you would do in a chamber like this is you would run to the side, right? And then shoot the burst here so it would land in the middle, right? And then it pulls all the enemies. We got the swirly whirly, and then all the enemies get pulled to the middle. So now in like, oh my god, in this specific configuration, if you did this the same thing, the new change is that the burst will go to the closest enemy and stop here, right? So I guess in this hypothetical situation, where enemies spawn very spread out, and you cast the burst here, and the burst goes off here, and then the other enemies don't get caught in its radius, that could be a bit like annoying, but it's not really a big issue. This doesn't really happen. The burst's suck radius is pretty gigantic, and these enemies are most likely gonna run to you anyways, right? So yeah, even if they don't get sucked immediately, they will get sucked not long after. But the big deal is when there is a boss, which is like 90% of all Abyss content. So when there is one big boss, one big guy, and you spawn with your Venti. Whoops, you're supposed to be red. One big guy, and you spawn with your Venti. You want to cast your burst against this guy, but then the burst just goes like here, right? And this guy cannot be sacked. This guy cannot be sacked. The burst is here, and he just like moves even closer to you, and he takes 0 damage, and you cry. And like to go around this, you need to like run back, and then burst, so that it actually lands. You need to like run further back, and then burst from way behind, so that the burst actually lands on the enemy. But this can be pretty hard to exactly like gauge how far the burst will go. And the boss can just like move out of it anyways. You just run away from it. The boss is gonna chase you. What happens now is you can just stand here. You just stand right next to the boss. You just burst, and the burst goes. You just burst, and the burst goes right on top of the enemy. So you can actually reliably damage enemies that can be pulled. And there is no way of like shooting against enemies that can be pulled. There is no way of like shooting the burst a bit too far away, but that's not really an issue. Like the burst sack range is gigantic. If you can sack the enemies, you have already won the fight with Venti, right? So it's the unsackable enemies where it's like where it sucks the most to play Venti, because his burst damage was always decent, or like always decent. It was decent for a while. It's probably not decent nowadays, but like up until Fontaine, the Venti burst damage was still pretty good. If you could reliably get every burst to hit every enemy, Venti would be a pretty decent sub DPS. But the issue was that you couldn't do that. And that's why Venti fell off already in Azuma, despite his damage still being relevant. So this is a huge change. As somebody who actually played Venti, this change is gigantic. What are we doing here? Playing Skirk. Archon is gonna do Archon things though, yeah. They should have made the burst move around maybe? Nah, like why? Follow an enemy? Or something? Not needed really. It will be annoying versus like if there are enemies who cannot be sacked and move around a lot, this would be annoying, but like that's annoying for every character in the game. Enemies who just like jump around like crazy. Like a Wenat or something. He pops in, pops back out or something. But like you cannot even hit the Wenat once it starts moving. So yeah, I mean that's like whatever. That's not really a big weakness to have.